Hello. A little bit warm today, but nothing crazy. Not looking forward to any summer. Okay. Barely can enjoy spring as it is. Allergies are fun, aren't they? Okay, let me see here. Well, OBS never tells me how many actual people are watching. YouTube lies as well, so no point in checking that half the time. At least I don't think so. Just checking something out really quick. Hold on, guys. Well, apologies for that. That was little child-related emergency. It wasn't. It sounded a lot worse than it was, thankfully. I just heard kids screaming, and so that was pretty scary sounding. But apparently, it was over a toy, so that's good. I prefer it not be something terrible. My neck hurts. I took an ibuprofen. I'm still not having fun. Okie dokes. All right. Let me see. I put a poll up for you guys. I asked the question, do you ever see efforts by others to accomplish a noble goal feel wasted with a cringe approach? That's the question in the poll. Remember, if you answer stuff in the poll, it doesn't show me the username. It doesn't show me who said what. It just shows me somebody voted. And honestly, I could care less who's actually the person voting for what. I just want to see what the feedback is. But it's there, and it's appreciated when it's clicked on or whatever. Quick updates on my own boring life. Let me see here. Finally got my psychologist back. Took months of awesome fun times insurance bullshit, but I have my psychologist back. The only psychologist I've ever had has been of any use to me. Yes, so they're back. So that's good for my mental health stability. Because remember, I'm not just schizoid. I also have a lot of depression and a lot of other things like agoraphobia. So not the only thing. Okay, so far we got a no. Interesting. Okay. So, maybe cringe was too harsh a term. Some people might just say incorrect, but oftentimes the incorrect manner in which it's being implemented can be pretty cringe because it seems to be like a waste of resources. But ugh, it's warm, disgusting. Outside of that, nothing to report on my side, except before I get rambling here. Remember, guys, my channel isn't monetized. I made sure I was, and then I took it off because their system is bullshit, and the way they have it set up is bullshit anyway. So my channel isn't monetized. I don't. Oh, here comes another. 1 second. There we go. Okay. That was my normal kiss goodnight. From the little one. Alright, as I was saying, oh, yeah. So, remember, I don't monetize my channel. I no longer do Twitch. So, I think that's still technically monetized, but I stopped doing anything with it. I think I took it off. I'm pretty sure I took off any monetization on there, at this point. And, you know, there's like a lot of stuff I'm not a fan of. I'm not even that big of a fan of, and it's probably one of the few avenues that works, for me, but I'm not even a big fan of Patreon. But it's the easiest thing for people to do. So remember, any kind of support, that's all I get. I get it from you guys. I don't get like a few bucks from this or that, because I don't want ads running during this shit. But I heard that YouTube's running ads during this shit anyway, so whatever. I guess I don't want to make money off trash can ads. In any case, yeah, appreciate to those already support and already help out. If you can't help out in that way, then please just post links to my streams in various places that you think would be relevant. Even if it's not necessarily a schizoid location, if I talk about something that isn't particularly schizoid, but it's just my schizoid take as this stream or whatever is called, then you can post that there. So if I talk about a movie that's terrible, then you can post my thoughts on it or clip it, whatever. I don't care. As long as it gets some people in here that might need this stuff. The real stuff, not the goofy shit that I sometimes do on Tuesdays. Alright. So, this is what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if this is your experience. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But oftentimes, I see a lot of things get approached, like whether it's, you know, by an NPO or by a, oftentimes by a governmental association or organization, sorry. And they do these things, right, that I just don't understand how they ultimately actually benefit their cause in any kind of realistic fashion, right? So a recent controversy has been like, you know, all the USAID stuff, right? How all that USAID money got taken and pooled or whatever. And, you know, it's a back and forth of like, this is wrong for these ethical reasons, and this is right because it was being misappropriated, whatever, right? It's like a back and forth. You know, I'm not here to argue all that. What I am going to say, though, is even the ones that had, even in situations where the intentions were noble, let me lower it. I feel like it's too loud. And sorry, if there's some background noise, it's because I have a fan on, but if it's too loud, tell me. I'll just turn off my fan and deal with it. A lot of these things will go, like, so much of this money will go, and like I said, whether it's like a really big organization like PETA for, you know, the animal, whatever, and they have all their own problems, but a lot of the big organizations that like really advocate for something, they often pour their money, state funded or otherwise, into like a really weird shit that isn't helpful to what it is that they're trying to do, that nobody takes seriously, nobody really cares about. No one is being affected by in any significant fashion. And if there is a demographic for it, I don't know what it is, because even like a quote unquote, you know, neurotypical people, more mentally well, people without schizoid personalities, whatever, normies, whatever you want to call them, regular, you know, we could put ourselves on the pejorative side or whatever. I don't care. Point is that even they don't give a fuck, right? Even they don't give a shit about that. Like, they watch a commercial for something that's like proposing something or trying to bring awareness to something, and it just annoys them. Like, because it gets in the way of like the shit they're watching, right? So whether it's on YouTube or whether it's like now that every goddamn streaming service decided, oh, you either pay us this much and you get ads, or you pay us this much and you don't get ads. When it used to be you just pay and you just don't get ads, right? So now it's just you just get ads, right? But point is, they interrupt your shows, they interrupt your anime, they interrupt your podcast, They, you have to constantly skip, you know, this part or that part. Commercials in general are a problem, I know. But it's weird to me that something that most people find annoying is the manner in which, uh, an organization, or, you know, some kind of federally funded project or whatever, is going to choose to advocate or push their ideas, to, you know, get it out there. Like if somebody told me, hey, angst, I'd be like, yeah, hey, we'll give you like, I don't know, and this is obviously stupid, but if they were like, hey, we'll give you $1 million to make like a crazy, really good commercial on schizoid personality disorder, my response would be, just give me the $1 million. I can do far more with that. That isn't a fucking commercial, right? And that's what's so crazy to me. How much money gets spent on just absolute nonsense that is counterproductive to a noble goal, a good thing. Like, oh, let's just say classic. We'll go old school for me, right? So I was a kid of the 90s, so we had Dare, and we had also had no smoking commercials. We had drink your milk commercials. There's still drink your milk commercials, by the way. I just saw one the other day. They're trying to like to appeal to like the goofy cartoon growing up audience, like people that grew up on like Adventure Time and weird shit. They're like, oh, let's make our ad for milk or something, like an episode of Regular Show. No one cares. That's fucking cringe. And it's just like, wow, how much did you spend on this? Like, how much did you spend on creating it, and how much did you spend on the advertising spot for this? Right? Like, imagine if like there's like a PSA for something and they play it during the Super Bowl. Like, how much money did you spend on getting that spot for that PSA or that commercial for your NPO? It's crazy. And it doesn't just it doesn't just, and by the way, if you guys have opinions or whatever, please put them in the chat. I'd love to get some feedback. I feed off the feedback, so it's great. Push back, agree, I don't care. Just do your thing. If you're watching this as a VOD, because I know at least 100 people that do watch it as a VOD, please leave comments in the bottom. I appreciate it. But anyway, it's not just commercials, it's also like outreach programs and things like that. I have seen many an outreach program when it comes to, one second please. There we go. Okay. So, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah, outreach programs, things of that nature, right? I've seen so many. You know, I'll go to my daughter's oldest and youngest. I'll go to like their school for like, you know, open houses and all kinds of stuff like that, right? And oftentimes I'll have these little flyers and little bookmarks. And if you go to the library, there's like there's all this like all these little pieces of paper. There's like they're gonna have like a oh, come to this meeting and like we're gonna talk about this thing that's for the community and stuff, right? And like what they're doing or what they're intending to do with that, I don't have like, I have zero moral ethical issues with it at all. Like, in fact, I go, oh, that's a good thing. But how many people are gonna go? And the people that do go are already interested in that. They're already concerned on that. No one that has no concern for something that they otherwise, well, unless you're a weirdo like me, but, and you guys, many of you are, but most people are gonna see that there's like a meeting thing. If they're not already concerned with that subject, they're not gonna go. everyone that's going to go is somebody that already thinks about that or cares about it. So if you're just gathering a bunch of people to hear about a thing that they already know about, because in reality they're probably there to want to ask, like, further questions about it from, officials or people in that group or what have you. So that's not very helpful. That's not useful. So commercials aren't really working, right? Outreach, like meetings, programs that the city, the state, even whatever set up, online or otherwise. Yeah. Most of the people that are gonna fuck with that are gonna be people that probably don't need to go to that shit anyway. It's probably gonna be people that the people who actually like don't care about the problem or cause the problem. Like, let's just say I don't know, recycling. Right? It's pretty old. They used to have like commercials of like dinosaurs telling you to recycle. They used to have like things where like somebody would come to the school and like put up like a puppet show about like recycling to like middle schoolers. I remember everyone in class would just laugh at it and make fun of it. And none of the kids gave a shit about recycling because a bunch of fucking puppets said it. I sure as shit didn't. I cared about recycling because I thought it was a good idea, but I sure as shit wasn't. I was being convinced to not care by the goddamn puppets. Same thing with like where they would bring a whole car over, right? A whole wrecked car, and be like, "This is what drunk driving does." Most of the boys that see it are like, "Whoa, that shit's fucking crazy." Whoa, and that's it. It's just like a spectacle. So that doesn't really help. And I started thinking more and more. I'm like, what can help, right? What can be useful? Can't do commercials. Meetings aren't really going to do much. And trying to get those things to be entertaining, to get the actual things to be entertaining, like the commercials themselves, the programs, whatever, like the city's having like a whatever day and everyone in the city's invited, and it's like nobody goes, or they just go to like put up a tent to pitch their own businesses, right? And like hand out cards for their like local body shop or tattoo parlor. I think my take is that the vehicle, especially now, we should be using to promote good ideas, or ideas with noble intent, where money should be spent, right, are where the eyes already are. Why do you have to make the thing appealing to mass audiences when mass audiences already have things they find mass appeal? Why would you need to do that? Right? And I'm not talking about like, oh, let's insert like this another fucking cringe noble effort. Let's insert like some message about like a certain organization into our movie. Right? I mean, if you could write it in like smoothly, sure, but I mean, nobody's there to give a shit about that. They're watching the movie, their headspace is already in like suspension of disbelief. They're already not grounded in reality, unless it's a movie that's focused on that. But yeah. That's not going to be that helpful, right? Maybe I'll give them this one. If they do like the, like where they put the phone number or the website at the end of the movie, because like the topic of the film was like really heavy and it was taken really seriously, and so then like if it was like a movie about domestic abuse, and then like, oh, before they even roll the credits, they just go like domestic abuse hotline at the beginning and domestic abuse hotline at the end, right? Like whatever, like, okay, fine, that's good. Right? That's not too crazy. It's reasonable, especially if it makes sense. Sorry. But we already have eyes on things. And one of those things that a lot of people have their eyes on are streamers. Right? Streamers. And one thing that I've been paying attention to that I find really amusing, in regards to, and this is why I brought up the whole USAID thing, you know, and all, you know, everyone keeps talking all the millions that got poured into, like, what was it, like Middle Eastern Sesame Street, whatever everyone's like exaggerating, or, you know, I know some of it's true, whatever. I don't care. All of it is just it's bad spending. But if you would have, and you're gonna think I'm insane maybe for this, but many of you might be familiar with someone called IShowSpeed, right? IShowSpeed. I'm pretty sure everyone's at least heard of them that's here. Or if you haven't, look it up. They're an incredibly big stream, right? But they do like IRL stream type stuff. So they go to places. Sometimes it's video games, yeah. But recently it's been traveling, right? Traveling to other countries. Recently, IShowSpeed's been traveling to China and doing stuff in China. And it baffles me that because he goes there in good faith, with a kind of like a positive, I guess, approach toward understanding, learning about their culture, having fun, like kind of like bonding with the people there via just basic human things like humor, a lot of wholesome kind of stuff, goofy shit. Obviously, he exaggerates a lot of his like emotionality and everything, but it's never done in a malicious way, and it never feels like it's being done in that Mr. Beast gross way, where it's like super fucking fake and like edited and feels like, oh, we're just like clickbaiting really hard. It just feels like this guy goes to places and has fun and is respectful of the people there. The exact kind of content you want to see, if you're going to have an American or someone from like a Western country represent us going there, or whatever, represent, you know, English-speaking countries. Watch the videos. I know maybe you don't watch his stuff already, but watch the IShowSpeeds of him in China. It's fucking hilarious. It's wholesome. And it's doing more, in my opinion, for something like people's perceptions of the Chinese people. I'm not talking about the government, it's a whole thing, but people's perception in the US of the Chinese people, it's doing more positive than any fucking bullshit soft power that money got poured into or anything. Like, all you literally have to do is send IShowSpeed somewhere, and you have a fucking US ambassador for like public relations, to improve public relations between the United States, the people of the United States, and the people of a different country. It's crazy. He's not even doing it with that intention, right? He's doing it because he wants to learn about it and because he needs content, right? That's his bad. But he's legitimately and sincerely interested in one of the places he goes and what he's learning. And he oftentimes immerses himself in the culture in his little, you know, ADHD ass version. Abandoned building exploration is pretty cool. Sorry, off topic. No, yeah, it is cool though. Agreed. And honestly, like, IShowSpeed could probably do abandoned building and then, like, you know, bring up as he's doing it, like, the reasons why these buildings are abandoned, right? There might be like economic reasons, social reasons, whatever. But he can do it in his funny, goofy way. But, you know, he has like little moments where he'll be serious, but then like most of the time he's just like screaming and being crazy and just jumping from one thing to the other. He is like ADHD, hyperactive ADHD embodied. It's like they just put him somewhere and he has people that just make sure he's okay, and then they just tell him, just do whatever you want. And then he does whatever he wants, and he's wholesome. And he's goofy. And sometimes he's cringe, but not in a malicious or bad way. It's just in a just in a like unashamed, like, of looking stupid kind of way. And like I said, if you see the China stuff, he's flown in what was like a goddamn, it was a flying car, but it was like just a big ass drone, and he was screaming, and it was pretty funny. But he's the first probably non-Chinese person ever flying one of these, right? And so that was like interesting. I Show Fucking Speed is the first one ever that's ever been filmed that is like American. I think he's American, right? Yeah, pretty sure he's American. In one of these things, he went to like a game show or some kind of. He was been going to variety shows in China, and they're like singing songs with him that have the N-word, and everyone's singing that, like saying the N-word, and he's saying, he's just smiling and laughing. Everyone's just having a good time. Nobody gives a shit, and they're just like cheering and having a blast. Everyone's like hugging each other and shit. He went to like he's been going to restaurants. He's been going like all kinds of fucking places. Just interacting with everybody. And for some reason, he has like a really big fandom in China. I saw a clip the other day where he like left the restaurant or something, said something to some guy that was just standing there, turned around, there was some lady dancing down the street, and he ran up to her and started dancing. Like, and it started like a little dance battle with some like random lady wearing headphones. Some like random Chinese lady. And they were like just dancing. And he was trying to mimic whatever move she was mimicking. And just the public's just there like clapping. And just having fun. Like it's crazy. Then you obviously have pieces of shit that go to other countries and just tear shit up and cause problems, and that fucking wrecks foreign relations. But it's crazy to me that one guy, one content creator, streamer, whatever you want to call him, that has charisma and a pretty wholesome approach to other people and things, doing more for something like foreign relations. Then I just go like, why aren't we subsidizing this? Right? If we want to talk about soft power, right? Everyone was talking about how all the USID stuff, like it was a bunch of soft power stuff and it's important. Soft power is really important. But soft power that's a fucking limp dick is not going to do anything. So what do we need? We need something that's entertaining, something that's funny, something that people that can connect to. We need I Show Speed. He has millions of followers. People find him funny, but he's wholesome in many ways. He's not disrespectful. He's humble when he needs to be. He's absolutely okay with people making fun of him. He pretends to get offended, but absolutely doesn't care. All the jokes regarding Messi and Ronaldo, whatever, pretty funny. Soccer is a really, really big sport all over the world. So all the, soccer fans like know about I Show Speed through that connection. They find the memes funny. He's self-deprecating sometimes. All that man needs is a camera. And like tickets to go to places. And money to go and eat and visit places. And that's it. You want Americans to learn about another country and learn about a culture that isn't their own, to expand their horizons? Just send somebody like that there. And just pay for their like hotels and meals, whatever their crew needs, and obviously pay them some kind of money for it. It's still going to be way cheaper than the amount of the billions poured into just bullshit projects. And I'm not just talking about this like on a national level, right? I don't understand how something like this can't be done on a state level. Why are we pouring millions of dollars into some fucking outreach program that nobody's using? Like, why are we putting money into something like I don't know, like shit like the PTA? That shit ain't doing nothing. Here's a really cool example, right? My daughter, she's just turned 14. She was laughing the other day because apparently some of the kids in her grade were supposed to be take a field trip to the Museum of Tolerance. Look it up if you don't know what that is. And she was like, okay, she said that sounded kind of interesting, but most of the kids were just like, cool, no school, sick. We just got to go to a museum, right? My daughter was interested, obviously, because her dad like in history and everything. Like, you know, it's something that's come up, and she's interested in that stuff. And um, but she was laughing because she told me instead of like doing that because of like reasons, they're gonna make us do like a virtual tour on our computers. And I'm like, what? What does that mean? Oh yeah, we're gonna sit there and like click on stuff. And I'm like, well, wait, are you gonna like all be at the same time? No, we're just like individually. We get to spend an hour in a virtual museum. And I just think, who made this? So essentially, I've seen these virtual museums. A lot of the times, they look like you're playing an incredibly boring point and click adventure with like really bad like movement. Like you got indie devs like making way more exciting looking shit. So essentially, you're gonna bore the kids with a boring virtual tour, right? At least in the museum, they're with their friends. They may be laughing. They may be, you know, physically present at things that have some kind of like awe-inspiring value. Virtual. All right, but that's not my point. I thought that was cringe. I was like, okay, but my daughter, before I even said anything, she's like, isn't that dumb? And I'm like, you said it, not me. And something real happened that was badass. Now, she told me they canceled the virtual thing. Okay? And I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, it's crazy what happened. And I'm like, all right, what happened? She's like, no, it's good. It's like really good. I'm like, okay. She said, so I guess, I don't know if it was the teacher or somebody there knew a survivor that was 100 years old that got out of the camps, survived the Holocaust. I guess the old man was still pretty talkative and spry at 100. I believe he was 100. And he went to the school and he talked for a good portion of the class time. And the you know, the tweens and teens, the young teens in junior high, were asking him questions about, because they had obviously read books, they've been told all this stuff. Right now they have a guy right in front of them that, you know, numbers and all that shit, saw hell and came out of it. And he tells a story right there, right in front of him. No museum, no virtual museum, no grand amount of money spent. An old man gets taken to a school, or is driven to a school, and he's told, are you willing to talk about this stuff? And he said yes. And that had more impact on the kids in that classroom than any fucking commercial, any fucking outreach program. And letting the kids just talk, ask questions like that were sensitive sometimes. And they really felt the appreciation for this, the somberness of it all. And my daughter was excited. She was like, that was so crazy. That was so like amazing that they had this person there. I'm like, yeah, really cool. It's really cool. Like imagine if you will, if you know, you're gonna have somebody talk about, obviously World War II is too long ago, but let's just say even like more recent exchanges or stuff in the 90s, you know, all the, you know, whatever event. Let's just say, like, okay, here's an example. Let's just say 9/11, right? Right now, 9/11, people meme it, all kinds of stuff, right? Why not just pay? Why not subsidize getting firefighters and first responders that fucking saw all that, and, you know, saw the dead and the corpses and the smoke and the screaming and all that shit, and are still alive today doing that kind of work? Why don't you subsidize that? Just having them go to classrooms, right? And talk about their somber shit. Like, talk to them like they're adults. Talk to them like an adult. Don't, like, obviously, you know, within reason, but don't sugarcoat it. Make it somber. Make it real. That's going to get kids' attention. Not a commercial, not a fun meeting, not puppets. None of that shit. Get the person that endured it. Don't show them a fucking video, like a 10-minute clip from a movie. No, get a person that endured it. Especially if it's recent history. I guess like the big deal to me is if you're talking about money, is how much cheaper that is. A lot of these people would do this for free, and a lot of these people would just expect you to maybe pay for the trip there and pay for some food. They would benefit more from that than a field trip, because a lot of those first responders are dead from lung disease, sadly. Why don't we bring in the wives, husbands, children, grown-up children of them, of what they knew, what they were told, what they experienced, what they went through, what the after effects of maybe, yes, dying of lung disease because of the day they were fucking trying to save lives, putting themselves at risk. Like, why can't that be what we subsidize in a public school? Like, I'll go to like a, and I'm right now talking about public schools because it's like a big one, right? It's a big one because that's when you're supposed to get something like advocacy, and so that's when you're supposed to like get somebody to notice, is when they're like a teen to give a shit. If you can get a teen to give a shit about something, man. Just joined but saw the title and immediately thought people doing performative shit, having holier than thou hero attitudes. Yeah, those don't help either. But I'm thinking more along the lines of like just wasted resources, even from people that have good intentions. And I think the federal government and the state governments and the city governments, they all do a lot of this stupid shit. I mean, I've known a few people that worked for like the state, and even they'll roll their eyes at stuff. They'll be like, yeah, they're having like this big event, and they're gonna have like jumpers and stuff, and like give people like a voucher for like a free corn dog or something. I'm like, what is it for? Oh, it's for like it's for advocating for like helping the homeless population or something, or talking about it. And like, how many people show up to this stuff? It's like, I mean, a few, but they just show up and they eat the food, or they have their kids go on the jumpers, and then like, or whatever, you know, something of that nature, and then they just leave. And like, we barely get anyone to sit down to like listen to or look at like the stuff that's actually important. Like, yeah, that's a weird approach. How much does that cost? It's like, wow, isn't there like better ways to implement this money? How about we just give that like that money would have been more useful just fucking giving it to the homeless people. You should have given the fucking corn dogs to the homeless people, or whatever. It's just weird to me. I don't understand. It pisses me off, to be honest. I mean, and like, it's the same thing with if you're talking about school, if you're talking about like sex education and all that kind of stuff. It's like, what are you doing? Even if they're like condoning like oh, you know, safe sex and all this sort of stuff, like in high schools or whatever. Just the way they talk about it, the way they approach it, it's just, that's not gonna work. I think they would benefit more from getting like paying for professionals of different fields that are discussing something of importance to actually show up at schools, and then paying for that instead of field trips. Take kids to jail. I mean, you don't have to scare them straight, but like, man, yeah, if you take like, if you got like an advocate for like, hey kids, stay out of jail, and he shows up and he says some real shit, like real shit, not like fucking cookie cutter fucking lecture line. No, real shit. Yeah, Yeah, that's gonna scare the fuck out of kids. Like, if you tell them, hey, you know, some of that shit you see in movies, it's worse. Some of that stuff they say happens to people there, it does. That's going to have more of an impact than anything else, especially if the person's coming from, like, a sincere place. And they're not lecturing. They're not telling kids, you gotta stay up. You know, no, it's just like, this is what happened to me. It's horrible. I regret my decisions. And I hope you don't make them. Because I have to live with them. No, Scared Straight's stupid. I hate Scared Straight. They used to do it in the 90s. They would, like, have a kid go to a prison, and then a bunch of prisoners just fucking yell at you and stuff. So stupid. That's not helpful. Fear is not what you should be using. What you should be using is empathy. Sincerity. Directness. That's where the money should go. And so it just baffles me. So if you want to get people to drink milk, right? I don't know. That's a whole different thing, right? You got a lot of arguments against people drinking milk to begin with. But anything, just anything. Explain why. Just say it. Be as, like, open and transparent as possible about it. Show them the gross parts. Show them the difficult parts. And don't do it in a shock way. No, that's dumb. Shock doesn't work on everybody. The shock works on the people that would already, like, be disgusted or bothered by something. Yeah, no, fear is terrible. No. Respect. Sincerity. Direct communication. Pull no punches. Show the results, yeah. Show, if you want to talk about how badly something's going, show them the data. Give them the fucking the black pill about a situation. Tell them as teens. Don't wait till college. That's stupid. You want to talk about the homeless population in high school? Sure. Have somebody from the school go down there and ask questions from the people there and how they struggle. And then have that person show that tape to the kids. Do the things. Have people, maybe faculty, volunteer work. Pay them like their hours, but offer, like, oh, we'll pay you. You know, it'll be part, like, it'll be like you'll be compensated, obviously, but this is educational. Show the kids' teachers going and doing volunteer work. And then roll that tape at school. Monkey see, monkey do. I just get frustrated. So yeah, every time I see a commercial for something like something good, you know, don't drink and drive, kids don't vape, whatever. No, that's not working. Putting in other countries they put, like, what do you call it, pictures of, like, fucked up lungs and stuff on the cigarette. That doesn't work either. That's again, that's the same thing. People are still going to drink. People are still going to smoke. Give them in-person emotional experiences. And for the ones that aren't like the most emotionally inclined, give them facts, give them information, give them data. If you don't have data to show, then you're probably not doing your job. A friend of mine was donating blood, getting 100 a pint until the promo ran out. Now he only gets 35 a pint. All right. I don't know. Like, I guess, you know, you're not going to really get a lot of people doing it as much. Or maybe they will. I mean, it's just, anyway, I'm not going to get into the subject of donation, blood donation. That has its own, like, weird things. But I don't understand when lead by example completely left the building in order to educate the masses on something. That's why people can't take it seriously, too, when, like, celebrities or politicians that obviously do things or take part in things that are literally the opposite of what they're standing there on a pulpit explaining to you. Yeah, that's not a good way to spend money. Having an event led by, like, a person that just flew in or did something or has businesses that are exploitative. How's that helpful? That's just going to make people go, see, it doesn't work. Nothing ever happens. Hypocrites. And yeah, they're right to complain and point it out, but are they going to fucking do anything themselves? No, they're just going to bitch about how the other person's a hypocrite. And then they're going to feel better because at least I'm not a hypocrite, because I'm not saying I'm doing all these things that I'm not. I'm just not doing them. But and it's kind of like the same thing. Here, let me get some more tunes on here. Wait, what is this? It's kind of like the same thing with like what I do, the work I do, right? I don't want to just, like, I want to advocate and talk about schizoid stuff. It extends far beyond that, obviously. I obviously am a very idealistic person in many ways. And I know I can't, like, I also don't want to just be an idea man. There's no point in just being an idea man. It's good to be an idea and implementation person. But I know we can't do all of it, right? That's why, like, okay, like, maybe, sure, all you can do is recycle and, like, you know, if we're talking about, like, the environment, not use certain products, right? Okay, that's something you can manage, right? Maybe that's not something you have, like, a huge drive for. But there must be something that you can work toward and do. And what's funny is that effort, that single person's effort, especially if word of mouth gets going on that effort, does more for that thing than, like, a fucking government, like, funded, like, fucking event or commercial or whatever. It's fucking crazy. One thing that bothers me too about charities and things like that is that they're oftentimes built to cater to the whales that are everyone's just fighting to see who could be the one who's taxed, like, who could be the one that gets the money that becomes tax write-off. And so then they start creating events and things that just cater to the egos of rich people, those that have that kind of ego. That's gross. Man, funds just being misappropriated in every direction. It's wild. And, you know, and with the whole breakdown, a bunch of USAID stuff, like, I don't think the current administration is gonna implement or go into the kind of avenues that I'm discussing. I think it's just gonna go into other fucking useless programs and other fucking useless kind commercials and other fucking useless uh, spots on different things, and it's crazy to me. I know, I'm rambling. I ramble. That's what I do. So yeah, get iShow Speed to go to different countries. That's good for foreign relation. Get like the more wholesome YouTubers to talk to improve stuff. Get the more wholesome YouTubers and streamers and whatever the fuck that people watch. Young people actually fucking watch. People in their 20s actually watch actively. And be like, hey, this is content, and make it content that still falls in line with something that's advocating something noble. Like, if you want people to donate plasma or blood, I'm sorry, if you want people to donate blood, then and you have a like, oh, we need more people to donate, like, have a fucking streamer donate blood, and like make it a thing, and then whatever. Have oh, you want like, you know, more awareness to this or that. Have pay these people that have all these eyes on them to go do the thing. To actually do the thing. And then part of the deal is that you have to like show everything that you do there. Like, you can't like take out the parts that you think would be boring or like not exciting enough. No, that's part of the contract. Like, it's too sad. Don't take that. Don't take out the sad stuff. If it's something that is sad, let the sad stuff stay there, and then have your like funny haha streamer go. Subsidize that. This is kind of an off-topic thing right here. I want to know your guys' opinion on this. Because I often think about like, oh, because I've always been into like social engineering stuff, propaganda, and like, because I when I hear about propaganda, I don't automatically have a knee-jerk reaction to it bad. Like, propaganda is like literally just the act of trying to advocate for an idea and promoting it. It doesn't always mean like, you know, weird tribalistic, nationalistic, fucking big mainstream media thought control shit. Like, that's not what the word means. Sadly, that's what it's associated to specifically. Propaganda is literally, yeah, like getting people to not do, like, putting a commercial, not commercial, but doing anything to promote the idea of you shouldn't do meth would be propaganda. So, I don't know. But anyway, the offshoot thing that I had was, I was thinking about stuff like school shooters. Right? So what do they do with school shooters? Here's like a good subject of like, how can you like support like the idea of like, how can we do something that's more like communication, not just law enforcement, to stop socially reduce something like mass shootings here in the U.S. or anywhere else. From like you know, teenagers and shit like that. You make it cringe. I know that sounds really goofy, but hear me out. You make it so that when a person does something of this nature, instead of sensationalizing it, you mock them, and then you destroy anything that ever had to do with them. And you make it cringe to talk about, even in a negative way. It's just stupid. They're lame. What kind of fucking loser does that? Oh, look, oh, I'm so sad. I want to take other people down with me. Fucking baby. Fucking cringe lord. Like, it's just, it is like the most lol cow shit imaginable. It is existentially a lol cow action to do something like that. It's a horror cow. But just erase it. And then make fun of it. And then besmirch it. Don't associate it with fear. Besmirch it with shame. Shame it. Shame it, like, you know, like, you're a fucking loser. So, because a lot of these people that do this type of shit, they want to be scary. They want to leave an impact. They want to be noticed. They want to have like this, like, oh, you know, that's why they write their fucking cringe, stupid, what do you call it? Fucking manifestos and stuff, filled with all kinds of retarded shit. Because they want people to talk about it. Like, I just saw like a video pop up. We finally revealed the trans shooter manifesto. I'm like, who gives a fuck about why they did it? Like, and if there is a legit reason, like if there was like abuse in the household, take care of that. Arrest those people. Do not sensationalize these fucking retards. Like, I just don't fucking understand that shit. Stop. They're fucking lame. That's the only way. I think that's one of the social ways you can reduce this stuff. To make it something that other people just like, their peers just think, fucking lame. That's what teenagers and like people in their 20s should be saying every time there's a mass shooting. What a fucking loser. Couldn't make it at life. Fucking beta. Had to take it out on other people. Fucking loser. Had to shoot people just because, you know, just because their fucking balls didn't drop. Just because, like, they couldn't get a GF. Or because, like, you know, instead of just fucking, you know, seeing a therapist and stop pretending like they're the protag of the fucking, some fucking cringy anime, like a shitty sign-in fucking, or a shitty fucking, webtoon comic. Like fucking edgelord webtoon comic. They think they're the protag. Wow. Like, for real, like mass shooters, they think they're the protag. Let it die in obscurity. Change their name. Legally change their name. Like, legally change that person's name to fucking idiot 1, fucking idiot 2, fucking idiot 3. And just keep increasing the number. But that's offensive. Oh, you know what's offensive? School shootings. Children getting shot in the face. That's offensive. That's way more offensive than, you know, legally changing someone's name to fucking idiot 1. A lot of these people that do this shit, they want to, like, leave something behind. They want to be, like I said, they want a legacy of, like, oh, you know, all this shit. And then talk about all the victims like they were fucking kings and queens, like fucking chads. They got killed by this fucking simp. This fucking suffering simp. I don't think it'll make it worse. Nope. Nope. These people that do this want to be feared, want to be remembered, want to be noticed. If you take that away from them, they very much lose that incentive. Because oftentimes they have this fucking delusion, the grandiose delusion in their mind about what they're doing. They think they're the protag. Helpless animals being systematically RPD and tortured for burgers is objectively even more offensive. Yeah, of course, I agree. Agreed. But I think we need to bring shame back. Like public shaming of inhuman shit. Social and public shaming of inhuman action, not sensationalizing, not having fucking... that's why I can't stand a lot of true crime shit. It's just turned into fucking entertainment. Like I hate it when, like, for example, there was like a recent show about like a stabbing fucking Psycho Kid in like Britain or whatever, and it was like supposedly it was like a culmination of like you know, message about stabbings and stuff like that, whatever. But this is the thing, if they put it out and absolutely. Yeah. If you got like convicted like if your city has like convicted rapists or something, and you know they went through a proper court of law, they went through it, blah blah blah. Don't just throw them in jail. Oh, just you can, if you want to save them from like being found out who they are, get hurt, whatever, like, you know, for that. But you want them just shamed? Yeah, sure, stockades, man. Put them on the town stock and make it only legal to boo, hiss, and yell profanity and shame them. Right. And then like even better, if you want to raise some money for you want to raise some money for like this stuff, just have like a giant bucket of water balloons. People could just throw water balloons at them and clown on them. Because it's interesting. Nah, tomatoes can actually hurt somebody, and then we have liabilities. Tomatoes can fucking hurt, man. People say tar and feather, it's like, wow, tarring fucking was horrible. Like, tar and feathering was horrible. It's not like the cartoons, folks. That shit was hot. Fucking scalded your skin and shit. Piss balloons. But the point is I think that most human beings fear shame, disrespect, disregard, dismissal more than jail time. I think that's way scarier. Social shaming is way scarier. Yeah, I love it when supermarkets have like a big wall full of pictures of people looking fucking criminals. Yeah, it's great. Looking all sussy. Or the face when they got caught. When they got caught like pocketing shit, like, and they put that on the fucking wall and it stays up there. That's great. But because another thing you would be doing is you would be giving society an outlet to express their hatred, aggression, and disgust with people that do things of this nature. You would give them an outlet to vent, and you would also create a deterrent that actually would like fuck with human psychology in a proper way. I guarantee you that a lot of the violent prisoners, they're way more scared of being like disrespected and shamed and belittled and just treated like shit. They're like that in that way, socially treated like shit, even among their peers, because even then they find like respect in the prison itself between them. No, don't make that possible either. Now create a culture of shaming violent acts on innocent things. That'd be cool. Yeah, bring them back. I'm not saying we don't have to go full public execution, crazy shit like that. We don't need all that shit. Just shame, man. That shit's so scary to people. Being like it rubbed in their face that what they did was not just wrong, but it makes them something that nobody respects. That everyone's disgusted by. I think that would probably make a lot of violent offenders of specific kinds more scared of the consequences. Far scarier than just going to jail, because they will go to jail too, but they'll go through that. Ooh, maybe make it a lottery, right? For prisoners that did certain types of acts, so that like, you know, every few months you cycle out who goes to the fucking stockades to get mocked, laughed at, and ridiculed for hours on end. I don't know. It's just a stupid idea. It's just me rambling. I think shame is I think shame is definitely something that can be used appropriately. And I think it would probably have a stronger effect than force. Because obviously force doesn't work. Here's a fucked up one, like making the, I don't know, no, you can't do that one either. Yeah, because that wouldn't work. No, that's I had another idea, but that's stupid. But anyway, yeah, I think implementing something of that nature would be of use. And also the public school education stuff that I said, that I rambled about. When someone is registered, so do they have to go to every house on their street or just a few? It would be funny if they're legally made to knock on every house on the block. Yeah, hell yeah, they should. They should be like anyone that's been convicted and proven to be a diddler should be forced to do like at least 100 homes that they have to knock the door on and say what they're about, what happened. And it should be recorded to prove that it happened and to prove that they didn't fight back. Not physically, because they can't be attacked, but like they didn't like try to defend what they did to the people that they're telling this shit to, that are probably gonna like say something to them and be disgusted by them. And then have them like give that recording to their like parole officer or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That doesn't work. I think one of the greatest ways that people reform is by being ashamed of themselves. Being ashamed of themselves and society feeling ashamed that they're a part of it. Those two things can be pretty helpful. Every house within a 1 mile radius. Yeah, it could be like a week-long endeavor that they have to put hours into. And if they don't do it, and they got off on like whatever, like then okay, well I guess that time we would like, you know, whatever. Oh, you don't want to do that, then I guess you're gonna do like something else, or we're gonna have a fucking person with you, an officer with you, go to these houses so that you can do it. We'll force you to do it if you don't want to do it. We'll make it worse. We'll make you wear a clown suit. You'll have to wear a clown suit and do it with a cop with you. If no, you have to wear a shirt that says something horrible, like I am a child molester. You just have to wear that shirt. That's a good one too, right? What if you enforce that somebody that did this crime has to wear a shirt that literally says that everywhere they go for like a year or longer? Ruin their any chance of a social life for them. Yeah, that'd be fine. I'm I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna lose sleep over that. Sorry. Why would I? That's crazy. Why would I lose sleep over that? Imagine a guy just walking around, I rape this or that on their shirt, like on a shirt on them. How well do you think that's gonna go? obviously hold anybody accountable that does anything like illegal to them, right? But I think just knowing that the state, that the apparatus feels the same disgust for them, and that their neighbor knows about it, and they're all grossed out and disgusted by this person, is enough to kind of bring catharsis to the aspects of society that would do worse to them. Because we already know, like, that's what's so interesting. Like, we already know what happens to somebody that does certain types of actions, especially to children and women of any kind, like that. We know what happens to them in prison, right? That's what human beings will do if we're talking about, like, mob justice or anything like that. That's what they'll do. So how do we find an outlet? I think that's a good way. It's sure as shit. I think that, like I said, I think sure as shit that would dissuade people far more. I feel like that scares people more than the possibility of getting killed or death. Just having no one in their life that gives a shit about them at all. That's a much worse prison for a lot of people. Maybe not so many of the schizoids out there, right? Get it, but yeah, that's hell for some people. I wonder if people that are like anti capital punishment would like argue against this too. Would this be, oh, it's too cruel, it's too cruel? Still not as cruel as what they did. So the golden cruel. That's what I'll call it. You know the golden rule: do unto others as you would like done unto you. We'll call it the golden cruel. Pro-social cruelty. Like if you had like a millionaire that did a bunch of fraud, and normally they would go to like some kind of white collar jail or some bullshit. Like instead, just like freeze all their assets that they can legally still keep for like a good chunk of time, and then force them to live on the streets with the other homeless people, and make them wear a shirt that says, I was rich and I did crimes that hurt people. And then have them like have to live on Skid Row. That might scare some fucking rich people from doing exploitative illegal shit. You know, more than like losing money. The possibility that they might get you know, stabbed by a hobo. And that even the homeless people around them will hate them. Because even they will be judged harshly by people that are walking around not showering for days at a time. And probably doing other shit like, you know, other types of crimes, and or maybe just suffering. And being normally very compassionate people. I met a lot of very compassionate homeless people. And those people, even those people would just turn their fucking face when they see you. Oh, that'll destroy an ego real quick. Consequence of doing crimes that are incredibly traumatic to other people, or traumatized a number of the population due to their decision making and recklessness and um, uncaring nature, whatever it is. How about instead of like prison, we just destroy their ego. Fuck with their id, fuck with their ego. Force them to do state imposed shadow work. What about that? What about state imposed shadow work? Till they're like crying and screaming and calling out for mama. Will that humble people? Did you see the millionaire guy that tried to make $1 million from nothing in a year and only made a 65K? So funny, dude's delusional. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know, man. All I know is that we need better measures to like take care of this shit, because the stuff I'm saying might be like hyperbolic or just over the top, but this shit needs to happen. Clockwork Orange those motherfuckers, I guess, is one way to put it. Yeah, state enforced shroom trips and Jungian shadow work. Yeah. Yeah, they make you do fucking they make you do hallucinogenics and shadow work. If it's like if it's crime of that magnitude. That's way scarier. Imagine like hearing like, wow, I heard that if you do that and you get caught, they literally like psychologically drive you insane. They try to break you. Ooh, that's way scarier. They try to break you into realizing why what you did was horrible. Just Ghost Rider their ass, like penance stare. That was one of my favorite superheroes growing up, was Ghost Rider. Yeah, state enforced LSD. No, state enforced shroom trips. Fucking yeah, that'll help. Ketamine, fucking whatever. That'll work. Ketamine shit. But what were we saying? Somebody said something. Oh, I had something. I lost it. I lost what I was gonna say. By blade and by bolter, brother. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, I think it's crazy, right? I'm over here with the mental illness and the personality disorder, or whatever, and I think it's fucking insane that like what I'm saying is just completely beyond the pale, and that what we currently have is what's okay, what's good. It could get better. Literally on the wrong path to begin with. Wild. Wild. Anyway, guys, I think I'm hungry. I feel like I'm hungry. I got sad. Now I got sad. Now I'm sad. This made me sad. It makes me sad because like in many ways I'm an idealist, and in my mind I go, why can't it just be like this? Why can't we just use like, reason and some logic and some good arguments, and come up with ways to like balance shit out and educate and all this sort of stuff. Like, it makes me sad that those things are not like really an option in the apparatuses that we currently have. That's what makes me really sad. I don't want to think that like the only way we're gonna stop or reduce the amount of like horrible crimes or advocate for better behavior from all classes, not just talking about the poor folk or the middle class, everybody, just general, that the only thing that people will understand is something that hurts. You have to hurt them. You have to hurt them in the sense that you have to teach them what hurt is. And you have to connect their hurt with the hurt of others. And I don't think just talking about it forever and ever is gonna be what does it. And I hate that I feel that way. I hate that that's what it would take. I hate that it's come down to that, because it didn't have to come down to that. Whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. I know I started off somewhere good, and then I went off on a complete weird tangent in different directions. But that is what you get with me. Just a rambling man. A rambling man. I don't pull punches. Say what I feel. I don't give a shit. I am the human, like, communication-wise or vocally, I am the human equivalent of a fucking honey badger. So, I just don't give a shit. And truth, sincerity, honesty, transparency, directness, sobering realities, discussing them is exactly what I think needs to be done. Okay. If you like what I do, if you don't give a shit about my opinions and stuff, I probably don't suggest Tuesdays. Saturdays, I tend to usually like to go to places where I'm talking about schizoid specific stuff. If you have schizoid specific questions or anything like that, you can always email me. You could always comment, and I try to respond usually if I can. Oftentimes I'm busy. Or you can jump on the server and DM me, or you can jump on the VC when you see me there and ask me yourself. I'm down. No, I do Tuesdays and Saturdays. It's just that last Saturday was my daughter's birthday. So it was her birthday party. So I'm sure shit not gonna like do this instead. No offense to Zoids out there, but actually, yeah. If you take offense for that, you're fucking stupid. If you think like, how dare you go to your child's birthday party, not stream? Yeah, you're delusional. But yeah, if you want to support me or whatever, just Patreon, PayPal, whatever. It really does fucking help, guys, because I don't get any money out of this otherwise. Like, and I got bills to pay, and I got a lot of shit I'm stressed out about. Not to bring up a sob story, or mention it like a sob story, but it all helps, guys. Every $5, you know, dollar, whatever the fuck, helps out, takes a little pressure off. All right. See you around, and hit me up if you guys need anything on a one-on-one or anything else, and I'll try to make time for it. I give a shit about schizoids. Like, a lot. Feels weird to say, but it's true. Okay. Thanks a lot, and as usual, when day is dark, always remember, happy day.